Hello everybody and welcome back to game 2 of this best of 3 series between EG and Team Life, aka Mouse. Well, at least it's heavily rumored to be the new Mouse. Anyways, if you haven't watched game 1, check it out. It's pretty good, not gonna lie. It's not the best game ever, but it's just a solid game of Dota overall. I mean, Team Life definitely put up a strong fight, but EG just had overall the better team composition and they managed to overpower Mouse in every single team fight. Or I guess overpower Team Life. So we'll see what Team Life decides to go about. I think the main problem came from this opening pick ban phase because after the bans are over, not only was Barrier left in the pool, but also Darkseer. And as you all know, Universe has one of the best Darkseers, and it would be very, very difficult for Life to snatch up both Darkseer and Barrier, considering that Life only have one of the first two picks. So we're going to see how Life decide to approach this. Are they going to get rid of the Darkseer, or are they going to get rid of somebody like the Elder Titan, who just made Life very annoying in team fights? So, I mean, whatever the situation, Life definitely have to change up their game plan. Meow EG looks like they're going with the very standard bans. I think they banned out OD as well as Shen or Wisp with their opening too. But this time, since they have the second bans, it looks like they're not going to stray too far away from it. And Life going to take a little bit of time. Clearly debating, alright, well, there's a lot of strong heroes still left in the pool. There's Elder Titan, there's Barrier, there's Wisp. What do we do? How do we sort of make it happen so that we get one of our heroes and also make sure that EG don't get two of their strongest heroes? And I think the best way to approach it is to probably get rid of Elder Titan or Darkseer, because if you get rid of Elder Titan or Darkseer, that leaves Life open to a Barrier first choice if EG don't ban out, and if EG do ban out, then Life can get their hands on the other one. But no, Life gonna ban out the Visage, so I have some respect for Fear's Visage apparently, but I'm not too sure if Visage was really the right ban. I guess we'll find out very shortly, depending on how Life want to lane their tri-lane, as if they want to lane it aggressively, then laning against a Visage would be very, very difficult. But meanwhile, EG gonna take a bit of time. Now EG themselves, they have a bit more maneuverability, because if they give up the Barrier or the Wisp here, then EG can definitely snatch up both the Elder Titan as well as the Darkseer, and as you all know, that combination is absolutely insane, even though it wasn't even executed in game 1 since Darkseer was banned the second round of bans. If EG managed to get both their hands on both of those heroes, then every team fight is just going to get exponentially more difficult for Team Life. Although the laning phase might not be the strongest for for EG in that case. EG gonna get rid of the Naga Siren, so they get rid of the counter initiation. We'll see what Life decides to do here. Are they gonna pick up Barrier, or are they gonna get Wisp? And as you all know, Wisp of course is very, very strong, but he is a little bit weak in the laning phase. However, if Life decides to run a defensive tri-lane, and it seems like they might decide to do that as well since they did ban out the Visage, then Wisp could potentially get some solo pull experience and get to that fast level 6. But right now, Life have a bit of a sticky scenario in their hands, but so do EG for that matter, because now there are 4 very strong heroes left in the pool, rather than just 3, so EG just can't snatch up the remaining 2. They're going to have to let Life get probably both of those if they have their way. Now the question is, what do Life want to get for themselves? Do they want to get Barrier? Do they want to get Elder Titan? I don't think Life is necessarily a team that first picks up Darkseer, so I don't know if Darkseer would be the choice for Life, but they're going to get Elder Titan for themselves, so they want to get a strong teamfight presence and a very solid mid laner, although, well, Life are on the read, so you could potentially offlane as well. EG going to snatch up Wisp as well as Barrier, getting the 2 strongest heroes in the pool. Very, very hard to argue, and we'll see if Life are going to synergize their Elder Titan pick by getting the Darkseer as well. As if they do that, then their lanes would be a bit more defined, and Elder Titan versus Barrier in the mid lane. If Barrier decides to go mid lane, is annoying for Elder Titan. He can survive, but he won't win the lane, and Barrier should not have too much problems getting his way towards a reasonably fast dagger.
10 seconds.
So, Life gonna take a bit of time. I mean, Darkseer is always a strong option. Life could also tend to pick up a support here, as somebody like a Bane or a Chen could definitely be very, very useful. But now EG, since they did pick up the Wisp, Life might decide to go with an aggressive Shrine choice. So I don't honestly know what Life are going to do here, as their last aggressive tri-lane worked reasonably effectively. I mean, it didn't lose the lane, it didn't necessarily crush the other lane, which is sort of the point of running aggressive tri-lane. But I think the main problem in the last game wasn't really the lanes, it was just the overall draft when it came to fights. And if you don't have a lamp that can take fights, then you have to pick up a lot of split pushers, and Team Life definitely didn't pick up a lineup of a lot of split pushers. So Life gonna take a bit of time here. Again, I'm not too sure what to go for. Meanwhile, EG, their lineup is a bit more easy to predict since Wisp is not tend to run an aggressive Chine unless he has a Chaos Knight with him. And look for Life to get rid of Chaos Knight in these next two picks. And if they do that, then they'll definitely restrict Wisp to safe lane. But Life are going to pick up the Nyx Assassin. Interesting choice. I'm not too sure how I feel about this, but I mean, Nyx is a strong ganker. He can sort of pseudo-escape from Wisp ganks because he can pop Spiked, delay it, or you can pop Vendetta and just get yourself the heck out of there.
10 seconds remaining.
And Nyx also gives you a nice amount of Disables that does do reasonably well against Barretter. Nyx is overall a very versatile hero. The problem is that until he gets at level 6, if he's played as support, he doesn't really contribute too much. And, well, I don't know. I'm personally a big fan of mid lane Nyx, but against a hero like Barretter, that's just not going to be an option. And that's one of the problems with Barretter, because even though he's more often than not sent to the offlane, the threat of having a mid just restricts your mid hero pool by such a ridiculous degree.
10 seconds remaining.
Anyways, with Wisp, or with Chaos Knight being removed, this will probably be a defensive tri-lane for Evil Geniuses. And if they really want to maximize or accelerate Wisp's experience growth, they're going to likely pick up a jungler to sort of do some solo jungle while Wisp gets some solo pull experience. Now, Wisp as a support is not the best ganker, and Wisp without Chaos Knight not nearly as threatening in the mid lane, so I'm inclined to believe that this will be a defensive dual lane Wisp. Although, if they get somebody like a Morphling, they could feasibly run a Wisp Morphling dual mid. So EG gonna get rid of the Weaver. Weaver very, very annoying to deal with for Barretter and Wisp, because once Weaver picks up the Lincolns, then Barretter has to get the Force Staff, otherwise he can't get the Soul Initiation off. And if you have fast enough reflexes on the Weaver, then even though Shikuchi does have a 0.25 fade time, if you just anticipate it, then you can potentially escape from a Flaying Lasso Initiation. So, good ban. Life gonna get rid of the Lifestealer, so not too sure how I feel about that. I mean, overall, as you all know, Lifestealer is a very strong hero. I don't know if he necessarily synergizes too well with Wisp, but actually, now that I think about it, he does synergize pretty well because you can just invest one of the heroes that Wisp is trying to gank with, and then it's a 3v1 rather than a 2v1, or 3v2 rather than a 2v2. So, you know, in retrospect, Lifestealer does make a lot of sense. And of course, he can handle his own in a defensive dual lane if the Wisp has to pull over and over again. So, right now, again, it's not too clear what EG will do with the Barretter in regards to lane. They could put him in the off lane and just send him into the jungle, although if they do that, then their own jungle hero could potentially be restricted, and I think that's why EG did ban the Chen, unless they choose to get an Enchantress here, because I think they are going to be forced to run a defensive tri-lane here by their own choosing, since they want to run somebody else mid. I don't even know what to think. But it's just very curious against a team with the universe on its side that Darkseer has made it through the first phase of both teams and never been picked in either of the two games. He was banned out in the second phase by Team Life, I'm sure, but I guess Darkseer is just not a no-brainer as I thought he'd be. I think it still makes sense for Life, but then you have a bit of a tricky issue because you have 3 melee heroes, and then it would be forced support Nyx, which is definitely very common. I just personally don't like it too much because I like to gank ASAP with Nyx, but one of the problems with Nyx as a mid laner is that it's so very obvious when he leaves the mid lane to gank that you can just plop a sentry ward and then all you have to do is wait 20 seconds and then there goes the surprise factor of Vendetta. So EG gonna get the Alchemist on their side, so Alchemist is definitely a very fast farmer. And he, of course, will rush that Shadow Blade, most likely get the Phase Blitz online. Probably not going to go for a straight up Midas, because I'm sure he wants to gank with the Wisp rather than just go for a lot of static farming. You know, Life going to take a bit of time. They're going to get the Rubik, so if Nyx is played support, which he most likely will be since that is the reoccurring thought for the majority of teams, then it will be a Nyx Rubik defensive tri-lane, because these heroes are not that potent aggressive tri-lane. I mean, Nyx can do okay, but as a melee hero, can't really harass, and he doesn't have that much mana to spam his Impales, even though it's only a 95 mana cost at level 1. And Rubik, until he gets to level 2, doesn't really do that much damage with his spells in a Trial vs. Trial situation. So, Life gonna run a defensive Trial. ET, again, since he is on the rain side, could potentially go on the offlane, because as you all know, Ancestral Spirit does block neutral camp spawns, and that could be a way for Life to restrict the experience growth of Wisp if they just send Elder Titan to the offlane. But then you have to deal with the Alchemist 4-second stun, which does a lot of damage. You have to deal with Wisp Tether stun, so sometimes it's not worth it. Meanwhile, EG gonna take a bit more time. Gonna run through a lot of their reserve time as EG gonna get the Juggernaut.
Radiant team pick.
Well, I'm gonna be frank, I don't know what to think of this. I guess it's sort of a pseudo push. I mean, usually when teams pick up a Juggernaut, the team that has the Juggernaut runs him in an aggressive shine, but I don't know if the EG will run him in an aggressive shine, since with Tether, unless Juggernaut rushes a straight up boost of speed. Because this I mean, mid lane Juggernaut is not the worst, but yeah, mid lane Juggernaut I guess is not the worst because it has been run in the past. I think it was run a couple months before TI3, so it could potentially be a mid lane Juggernaut. He just doesn't make the greatest usage of Bottle Crow, but I think Shadow Fiend is a really, really smart choice by Team Life. I think this sort of forces Juggernaut away from mid lane, because saying, alright Juggernaut, if you're sent mid, then we're pretty much just going to have a field day with Shadow Fiend, since Wisp won't really gank that effectively with Juggernaut, and you might have to force Barretter in the mid lane. Juggernaut offlane was a thing that people ran, but that way Juggernaut got literally nothing in terms of experience, especially against a defensive Trine that Life will most certainly run. I don't know if Juggernaut is really the best fourth option here. I think this might have to be played as support Juggernaut, as odd as that sounds, but Fear has some weird ideas for supports. I've seen it in the past, so it could be a support Juggernaut, it could be a mid lane Juggernaut, although that remains highly doubtful with that Shadow Fiend pick. And I think that's why EG are running through so much of their extra time, because now they're wondering, alright, how are we going to play this Juggernaut?
5 seconds.
You know, Life's lanes are looking a bit more stale. It's going to be likely a Shadow Fiend mid. But if they do that, Barretter vs. Shadow Fiend is very annoying for Shadow Fiend for those first 3 levels. So once Shadow Fiend gets to that second point to raise and second point to Necromastery, Shadow Fiend can sort of hold his own. But still, Barretter will most likely take control of the lane in the very early stages. So it could potentially be a safe lane farming Shadow Fiend if Life really want to put the Elder Titan mid. So this is just a lot of mind games about lanes. And of course, Dota, as you all know, the things you can really predict in the opening draft phase is not just your teamfight potential, but just how your lanes will be, since lanes are probably the most easily influenced factor in Dota in the draft phase. Is EG gonna get themselves a Clockwork?
Radiant team.
Alright, Well, in Dignitas, EG, or in the old Dignitas, Fogged was often a support Clockwork, so it could be a support clock. If it is a support clock, then he won't get much experience at all. This could be mid lane clock Juggernaut off lane with Barretter jungling. I don't know. Just this lineup makes my brain hurt in terms of lanes. All I know is that it'll be an Alchemist Wisp dual lane top with Wisp pulling and some other support. One of these three as Life gonna get themselves a Shadow Demon. So Life, I don't think they're gonna run aggressive challenge, so it's gonna be Syndren's playing the Nyx, so it's gonna be Syndren mid playing the Nyx, so yay, gonna see some more mid Nyx action. Personally a bigger fan because I like to see more active Nyxes, but it makes more sense to play as support, since if you don't manage to get ganks going very early with the Nyx, then what's the point of having his a mid laner? He doesn't really scale super well into the late game unless he manages to get his mojo rolling. But you are gonna see a mid Nyx in this game, and it's gonna be a safe lane farming Shadow Fiend, Shadow Demon to back him up, and it's gonna be an Elder Titan the off lane. And I think this Elder Titan off lane really is annoying EG, because if they manage to get some Ancestral Spirit blocks, then they could potentially really restrict the experience movement of Wisp.
10 seconds remaining.
You know, it's going to be Universe playing the Barrier, so that means MSS. Well, Universe did play off lane in the last game, and I think MSS did play mid lane, so I guess it'll be another off lane Barretter, and you can see he's not even bothering to go for the mid lane bat build. He's going to go straight into the jungle. Fear is playing the Juggernaut, so it is going to be a support Juggernaut, I suppose, and I think he's rushing those fast boots of speed since he's saving up 300 gold, or most likely just saving up a bit of gold for Sentry Wards in case the Radiant want to block off some camps. Meanwhile, on this side of Team Life, aka Mouse, we're going to have Fate playing the Shadow Demon, Ace is playing the Elder Titan, Link is playing the Shadow Fiend, Sinner is playing the Nyx, and Crit is playing the Rubik. So mid lane, Clockwork versus ET, or versus Nyx. Not too sure what to think. I think Clockwork has a slight advantage because he has Cogs and burns Nyx's Assassin's mana a bit more. He has higher base damage by a little bit, he has higher movement speed, and Rocket is feasibly a more spammable nuke. And of course, Nyx, if he gets up close and gets hit by a battery assault, that could be very annoying for the Nyx to deal with. So I don't think Nyx expects to win this lane, he's just expected to get whatever farm he possibly can get. But this is a bit of a problem because if you put Clockwork mid, then you're more often than not saying, alright, we're not expecting Clockwork to get farm, but we are expecting for him to get a fast level 6. Against the Nyx, he's going to get both farm and a fast level 6, so I don't know if there's going to be any sort of roam coming in for the Shadow Demon, but it looks like Shadow Demon is going to be in the off lane, backing up the ET, and I did see this in a game before, because getting that... Ooh, Universe is going to pick up a haster and actually going to go in. What did he skill first? He's going to now put the sticky napalm. I think he might have skilled a little bit too late as the disruption will be used. Going to get a second stack. Is he going to keep diving? Just getting in one more auto attack. His HP was drained to about 3/5, so he's going to back off at a nice time. Now the unfortunate thing for Universe is that sticky napalm doesn't do as much damage compared to Firefly at level 1, especially by the 30-second mark. Because you want to kill this level 1 camp ASAP so another one stacks up right after you kill it, after you stack this hard camp. But since you got sticky napalm, it's going to be a lot more difficult, and I don't think Universe will actually kill this camp by the minute mark. You know, Ace just going to do some creep pulls himself, knowing that Wisp can't really do anything to stop it. Good maneuver by Fog to redirect the neutral aggro, but it looks like some of the creeps were pulled nonetheless. So Fate is going to camp on this top lane, probably an insurance policy for the Elder Titan, because they know nobody's in the off lane. Barretter went straight into the jungle. So overall, Team Life's links make a bit more sense, although Sinner is taking a bit too much damage from these creeps as he is going to get the heck out of there. And again, this matchup is definitely not in favor of the Nyx, it's in favor of the Clockwork. So it's going to be very, very dangerous, but Sinner is going to be making his way towards that bottle relatively soon. Only about 8 gold away, and then he'll finish that bottle. He'll just have to be careful not to get himself cogged anymore, as it's a level 2 battery assault and that does quite a bit of damage. And as I say that, Sinner gets trapped in, there's no creeps to absorb the battery assault, even though the battery assault can't even be used. So MSS will pick up the first blood. I don't know if Sinner just had a brain fart, if he went to the side shop to pick up his bottle, which I think he did. I think that might have been the reason for his momentary lapse in judgment. Maybe he didn't bind it to the hotkeys or bind it to the quick buy, but he did pay for it with his life, and giving first blood to a Clockwork just going to mean that this lane is going to be even more difficult, and Clock can gank a lot easier than Nyx since he has such a long range initiation. Still, Team Life are in an okay position. They're having a free farm Shadow Fiend, and free farm Shadow Fiend versus free farm Alchemist. I like Shadow Fiend a little bit more in terms of his early game impact, especially if it's a fast BKB. He just simply does more damage than the Alchemist can, but giving a free farm to Alchemist, I mean, you've all seen how effective it is in the past, so we're going to have to see if that comes back. Now, I'm not too sure. I know that the Ancestral Spirit is a unit, but I don't know if you pick up a creep from across the map if you still get the experience. So if you do, that seems very, very annoying. I mean, we saw in the last game, Barretter teleported into an Ancestral Spirit, so I know it's a separate unit by itself. You know, it seems like EG gonna pop the healing ward to give themselves a bit of extra HP, and that Ancestral Spirit does hurt quite a bit in the early game, especially with a couple levels into that natural order. So, I mean, if you repeatedly spam that 220 damage nuke, or however much it is, 160 damage nuke, then that can be very, very annoying to deal with since it has such a short cooldown. You know, Link's continuing to farm, picked up a magic stick. He knows there's a Barretter on the other side, so getting that early magic stick could potentially be very useful if Barretter ever chose to his off lane. And meanwhile, Universe is going to clear up a stack, has Sticky Napalm, has the bottle, and is going to have to be a bit careful. These poison creeps are proving to be very, very annoying, but it looks like he will be able to clear up a stack nonetheless. Still, I think at this point Barrett would be level 4 or closing in on that. And you can see that not having that extra stack of level 1 neutrals has really hurt him. As Fear is going to come in with the boot speed, going to drop a lot of harassment, and defensive disruption will be used just to avoid extra damage on Ace. So a good usage of defensive disruption, but that means Ace will have to play a bit more defensively for the moment until that disruption comes back
Dire's
online.
bottom tower is under attack.
You know, Synderen definitely not having an easy go of it, as MSS is going to chase him, and now Synderen knows that the rune is on the bottom lane, and I'm a bit surprised MSS actually went to the top lane since there was a ward spawning out this rune, although it looks like the rune did just spawn, so I think MSS made a preemptive movement top. So if that's the case, then he certainly can be banned, but it looks like they might be engaging. Nice disruption, dodging the stun as the teleport in by Rubik is there. Fogged is going to take a lot of damage. Fogged will likely die, as Jo actually will be the first one to die. Fear is going to watch all. Nice teleport in by Ace, or Ace was already there. Nice teleport in by Link, as Link with that extra damage helped to pick up a couple kills, and he's not losing too much because Barrett is not getting experience in the offlane in the meanwhile. So even though Xiaofi did not pick up any of those kills, the assist gold means that his teleport was more than worth it. So good teamwork and a bit too aggressive of a dive of EG's tri-lane. And you can see EG's tri-lane does a lot of damage, but can't get over aggressive because disruption combined with whatever teleports comes in can certainly delay the onslaught damage for a good deal of time. And by that time, Blade Fury is wearing off, and the extra stun duration could prove to be very annoying, especially if you manage to dodge stun outright. Me on the bottom lane, Universe got himself killed. Looks like he wanted to go back to the off lane, as well Universe is diving in, but you can't really do that against a level 7 Shadow, well, a level 6 Shadow Fiend, especially when you're only a level 5 Barrow without a lasso. So I'm not too sure what Universe was thinking. Maybe just thought Link would be caught sleeping, but that proved to not be the case. Meanwhile, hookshot going down the mid lane. Synderen is the only one on the side of Team Life who's not in a good time, and he will die. Nice hookshot. The Blade Fury came in, and Juggernaut stood right next to the cock, so nice gank by EG. Still, it's a Nyx Assassin gank. I mean, he doesn't necessarily need that many items. Yeah, he wants to get experience going ASAP, but I don't think he necessarily minds too much. It's not like especially an explosive mid is getting free farm in the meantime. It's a Clockwork, and well, it's not a thing like a Dragon Knight or a Shadow Fiend who just scales out of control in the mid to late stages of the game. Clockwork just simply becomes annoying at that phase. So right now, Synderen's the only one on Team Life who's died. You know, the rest of the lanes for Team Life so far are winning quite handily, and Jail actually went for a phase boots build, trying to go for early game aggression to synergize with the Wisp. But you can see the double pulling with the Juggernaut has really restricted Wisp's experience growth, not close to level 6 whatsoever. Meanwhile, his counterpart support crit is barely at, or almost level 6, as MSS on the top lane with invisibility and rules by Ace with his little eye. Ace, well, you're dead, as the stun's going to come in, trying to get the last hit with the stun. Just going to be a little bit unfortunate that the damage simply was not there for Jail, but MSS is going to be more than happy to snatch up the kill. Meanwhile, Fear, level 5 himself, has a nice stun onto Fear, gonna get the creeps as well as Fear, so doing a bit of extra damage, gonna get the creeps down to a reasonable low HP, and Nyx Assassin gonna hit that level 7 very, very soon, so we'll have that really damaging Impale online in a matter of moments. You know, Crit level 6 has that spell steal, so MSS trying to get position. I think the last spell MSS was used was Battery Assault, so that's definitely not the best spell that Rubik can potentially steal. But MSS looks like he wants to go in for a hook gank, but there's nobody else to gank with. Clockwork just diving in against the Xiaofi, and Rubik could be a lot of trouble. As well, MSS, he's waiting for it. He's got to be very, very careful, but his tower's taking quite a bit of damage, and all the while he's just lurking in the background. Looks like we are going to see a rotation by Fear, but this tower, it's going to be fortified. I don't know if Fear can actually make the rotation soon enough, as there isn't a rune there. And meanwhile, Lag Spike is the call by Team Life, as Fear is going to come in. Will they get the hook shot? I think the tower will die though. Link gets hooked. Nice telekinesis, going to disrupt him before he gets cogs going. Link does get the last down the tower, and Link is just going to run the heck out of there. EG just simply waited a little bit too long for the rotation, and that's going to cost him. It's the hook shot was stolen by Crit. Oh my god, Spider-Man Rubik has entered the game. So a really nice counter gank And that was disaster for EG. Not only did they waste an ultimate, which isn't really the lowest, or the worst ultimate to waste, but they lost a hero. They gave up a pretty solid ultimate in exchange, and the Earth Splitter going to be a little bit mistimed because Phase Boot's going to restrict that, and well, Fate, nice knowing you, as he's going to do whatever he can. Looks like ET was able to secure the kill on Fogged, and Ace, again, very speedy, 10 stick charges, means that he'll just speed away from the Barrett at any opportunity, so it's going to be a 1-for-1. But EG did devote 3 heroes to that, meanwhile Life only devoted 2. And Shadow Demon is probably the least experienced defend hero in the game, unless you go for a heavy Shadow Poison build. Meanwhile Barrett is going to be caught as telekinesis, a couple hits. Universe just wasn't anticipating the ward, and now EG probably knows that the ward is there, but that ward has paid off in spades, and Jo is just getting punished on the top lane, as 35-7, not the best time for a shot versus dual lane, as the hook shot just barely gonna whiff. I think it hit the Spirit, if I'm not mistaken, and if that's the case, that is super annoying. Oh my god, if that actually hit the Spirit, then that would have been a dead Jo for sure. You know, Cern's going to come in. They're going to kill Jo regardless. They might lose crit, and they will very much lose crit. And looks like Ace is wondering the same thing. Yeah, he did think that the Spirit got hooked, and now MSS is going to come back in, going to catch Synderen, and Syndren's just going to do whatever he can to do as much damage as possible, but the counter gank just simply was too strong by EG. The unfortunate thing, of course, was that the Alchemist died. Meanwhile, the Shadow Fiend's still far away, but still a really nice victory for EG nonetheless. So it's a 10-minute mark. Life have a slight goal advantage, probably in large part due to the tower that they managed to secure. Experience advantage, probably going to swing slightly in favor of EG after that successful counter gank. Shadow Poison will be used, and Ace is now here, but there isn't anybody else to set up. Meanwhile, there's going to be a gank on the bottom lane. This ward might have spied out the Shadow Fiend, but Link is at full HP, so close to finishing BKB. If he dies right here, that could be disastrous, as MSS. No, the vision just simply wasn't there, as this ward could not get around these trees, and I don't know if that was just a lucky movement by Link, but if that's the case, really, really well done, as, oh, Disruption gonna get Universe's lasso target. Good communication by Team Life, as they're gonna kill off the Barretter, and that means, well, he's already has a Blink Dagger. Still, getting your Barretter killed, not getting to that level 11 is very, very annoying for EG nonetheless. You know, Team Life have 3 heroes on the top lane. They could potentially move in a 4th if they want to take down this tower, but looks like they're going to back off for the moment, since Synderen and Link are going to make their way. Link almost has a BKB, and this is the power of free farm Shadow Fiend. He just farms so much quicker since he can clear neutrals faster than any other carry, or earlier than any other carry in the game, with his Shadow Race as well as his right-click damage. So he will get a fast BKB, only unrivaled with a Grievous Greed Alchemist, but Jo is having no such luck in the meantime. He's just being challenged. And I think Life have realized a mistake. Let Jo farm uninterrupted. You are going to pay for it with your life. And now Shadow Fiend going to get the BKB shipped towards him. This is a bit of a risk because Shadow Fiend does not have the BKB. But all the while, there is going to be engagement as Synderen once again going to get tracked by MSS. This will be the end of Synderen. Dust was used, and Synderen seems to be the only one who's having problems in this game. But again, it's a Nyx Assassin. So, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't mean so much.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
So Life have managed to secure a tower advantage. Now, what I'm really concerned about EG is, again, this BKB. And now Elder Titan can start getting points in Echo Stomp. So if the timing is correct, they can actually manage to chain stun people long enough so Earth Splitter actually hits targets if they combine the Disruption as well as the Echo Stomp.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
You know, Fear looks like he's getting whatever farm he can possibly get. It has a smoke, has a bottle, not too much else. As MSS looks like he's gonna rush. Well, don't know what he's gonna rush just yet. He's gonna be caught out for the moment. As here comes the raises, and Jo's gonna come back in, but they weren't anticipating that BKB by Link. He is gonna get off a really nice Requiem missiles. They're gonna kill off Fog, as Fear is gonna come in. He's gonna drop an Omni Slash, try to do whatever he can. They will manage to kill off Fate, but they're gonna give up Fear in exchange. Now Universe is gonna have to get the heck out of there. Blink is cooling down rapidly. We'll be able to escape, but in the meantime, Team Life gonna be more than happy to clear up this tower. And I think MSS had a streak mega kill for Nyx, so that's going to help him quite a bit in terms of getting himself back in the game. So another tower has been last hit. It's going to give Ace a lot of gold. Ace interesting enough one for soaring, so I guess that's a pretty solid offlane Elder Titan build rather than just ball crowing continuously. As long as you don't take too many risks, soaring is the better option since you can just, you know, regenerate HP naturally. And looks like he's going to finish the drums relatively soon. Meanwhile, Rubik has Arcane Boots. This Rubik's pretty farmed since he's been in a lot of engagement, has 7 assists. So a level 9 Rubik is definitely nothing to underestimate, especially if he picks up a relatively speedy dagger. Shalfin already has the Yasha finish Elder Titan. Now with the drums, going to start working towards either a Vlad's or an AC, most likely. Shadow Demon, the only one who's not having the best time on Team Light, but he still managed to pick up an urn and a magic wand, and is level 6, which is pretty much all he needs. Meanwhile, EG, well, Universe has the smoke dispelled, as Universe has not been able to get any progression towards his Force Staff since he's been unable to get any successful ganks off. Again, no fault to him, it's just not been working out. Wisp is level 8, but he has nothing, not even Boots of Speed, has just a bottle. I don't know if Wisp really needs Boots of Speed, but it would be useful. Clockwork, he had something on the Courier. Almost has the Blade Mail finish, so that's going to be very, very nice. Again, the only likely person on Side of Life to pick up a BKB is going to be Shadow Fiend. But if he manages to Blade Mail the Earth Splitter, then that could really hurt Ace quite a bit in the team fight. Alchemist still working his way towards Shadow Blade. Will have a finish finally, but this is a pretty late Shadow Blade. Not only Jao's fault since he was challenged so heavily, but definitely not how things were anticipated for EG. And it seems like Life know that they have the advantage. They're just going to group up and push. Will they be able to clean up this tier 2? The creeps are dying pretty rapidly as Link is taking way too much damage. Again, Team Life don't seem to be very keen on finishing mechas. All the while, EG going to be pressuring the top lane as Synderen going to spot out MSS. They will get the stun. Can they get enough damage to actually kill him off? Metaburn will be used. I think they're just going to drive away MSS for the moment as Universe will blink in. It is going to get telekinesis. This could be disaster for Universe as the Purge going to be dropped. Shadow Fiend raises and Ancestral Titan, or Elder Titan right clicks. Going to be the death of the Baron, and that's going to stun his Force Staff even more. He could have potentially picked up his Staff of Wizardry at that stage. But all the while, EG are getting a successful push going, and EG are still defending their tier 2 at the cost of 1 hero, so this is not the worst move for EG, as I think Team Life finally realized, alright, pushing in against a Clock Rocket is just way too annoying. But, as I say that, what was MSS doing? He hooks in. Oh, he wanted to kill the Elder Titan, but that was just way too risky. He had to have known Shadow Demon might have been there, although I guess he could have thought that Shadow Demon teleported back. So it's going to be a tower trade, as Team Life will finally clean up this bottom tower. But it did cost them 2 towers in the end, so I don't know if that was necessarily worth it for Team Life, but a very nice maneuver by EG. Going to get themselves pretty much right back in the game towards the economy department. Well, maybe not right back into the game since they're giving up kills, but they're going to close the gap by a little bit. You know, it's not a good sign when your Shadow Fiend has almost double the CS of your safe lane farmer, and Shadow Fiend gonna likely work his way towards Helm of the Dominator for a later game Satanic, then finish the Manta, go for Butterfly, all that jazz, and all the while, Alchemist has a Shadow Blade. Poor Jo. But because of those 2 towers being taken, Fogged finally has some items, has boots as well as a magic stick. And Universe now has the Staff of Wizardry as well as Third Regeneration, despite him dying because of those towers being killed off. You know, MSS finished the Blade Mail. Crit stole Blade Fury. I'm not too sure if he's going to go for Force Staff or Blink Dagger. I guess, against a Clockwork, you'd probably want to have the Force Staff, even though the Mana Burn still ticks in. As Team Life will smoke up, and I don't know if EG will necessarily see this coming. As Alchemists with the Shadow Blade, do Team Life have detection? They should. As I say that, Jo gonna get spotted out. They're gonna drop a sentry. They will pick Jo up. And that was just a really clever smoke gank. I don't know if Life knew that there wouldn't be any sentry wards there. Do they have a gem? Looks like they don't. You know, Syndren's finished the mech, so my billion criticisms of Team Life never being given mech or pipe gonna be proven wrong once again, as Sinrin has the mech, has arcane boots, so he actually has enough mana to spam his all his abilities with the wand, the arcane boots, as well as the bottle. And this is gonna be a tier 2 for Team Life, so Team Life starting to pull more and more ahead, but all the while Fear is gonna go on the offensive towards the tier 1 on the bottom lane. Should be able to clean this up, as Juggernaut doesn't do the most damage, but slowly but surely this tower is getting chipped away, and Fear will pick up the last hit. You know, Alchemist could just straight up go for an AC, it seems like. I don't know if this is a casual playmail, but I think he desperately needs BKB in this game because there is nothing on Side of Life that goes through BKB outside of Demonic Purge. So I don't know if this is just a playmail into BKB or if this is just a straight up AC rush, but if I were JO, which I'm not, I'd go for maybe playmail into BKB because you know that Team Life, they're about to finish the last tier 2, and that means they're going to have designs on Rosh and then designs on your base. And at that point, there's only so much you can stall if you're EG, if they're just knocking at the door. Another thing I forgot to mention is that this group up and push strategy by Team Life is just doing a really, really nice job against the Wisp pick by Team EG, because Wisp can never use relocate, and even though EG is split pushing to a reasonable degree, they don't have anything like a Nature's Prophet or a anti-mage who can just split push super quickly. But EG are still going to work. They're going to clean up the tier 1 mid, they're going to likely pick off the tier 2 bot. So almost all the tier 2s have been finished up by EG. So EG, even though they know that in a team fight they can't yet win, they're still doing their best.
Dire's top tower is
You know, MSS gonna get spotted out by Sinrin. Will they initiate on him? They will, as MSS gonna be caught out a little bit out of position, and he is gonna pay for it, as there is simply nothing MSS could do other than just not be in that position. And look at the wards by Life. They want to go on the high ground relatively soon, but looks like they're gonna have to push into the top lane if they decide to go that avenue. You know, Link probably gonna save up for the Manta style, so he can just start slow sieging the base with the Manta style illusions. He has the BKB finish, has the Element Dominator, and again has 150 CS, so he's definitely very far ahead of the competition. But you can see, despite Life having a pretty significant kill advantage, the gold graph is remaining steady, even though EG has not been faring well whatsoever, but the experience graph is telling a different tale. It's going steadily in favor of Team Life. However, Barrett does now have the 4 staff, so that means in the last game I thought EG had no chance to lose any team fight, because not only they had the bear initiation of Barrett, but they also had ET in terms of team fight control. But now with both heroes on opposite teams, I think EG could potentially win a team fight if they manage to get off an early initiation, picking off somebody like the Shadow Demon or the ET. As Crit with the Blink Dart gonna blink in, gonna catch Fogged, and Fog just getting absolutely zapped into oblivion. No chance in hell, as, well, Sinrin stayed a bit too long. He was stunned, so that's not really that fair of a comparison, but Sinrin did end up dying. However, with the Wisp dead, this should be a relatively easy rush for Team Life, since there is no really okay ganks, and I think EG knows this. Were they gonna contest it? MSS could toying with the idea of a hook shot, but there's too many Life heroes on the lanes, and EG gonna have to defend their base, and all the while Link is just soloing Rosh. So Link, he's gonna have an Aegis up, 22 minutes. After a solo Roshan, he's gonna be level 14, almost maxed presence of the Dark Lord. Crit has the dagger, gonna go for the 4 staff. Meanwhile, Shadow Demon himself has a 4 staff, so Team Life getting a lot of strong mobility. I'm saying ET looks like he's gonna go for Halberd or BKB, as he is gonna be dead. Failed to catch that gank. Wisp gonna come in with the Alchemist and Ace. Getting sliced and diced by the Juggernaut ultimate. Ultimately was not necessary outside of the Alchemist stun, but now EG have to run. As can Fog get off the tether to transport JO home safely? He will, but it is going to cost Fear his life. Still, a Juggernaut for an Elder Titan. Very much worth it for EG at this case, because Elder Titan will have to walk a long way to get back to his team, and by that time Juggernaut will be able to respond. That's going to prevent the base push for a good minute. Sinrin. Oh, Fogged. Say it ain't so. He's gonna initiate onto Jo, and that's because crit is there, so why just get one when you can get both? Really nice maneuver. Crit has just been on the ball, and that is going to be his force staff. He chooses to buy it. So really good gank, and that is going to make EG's life very annoying, as now Shadow Fiend, I think he just had 3k gold. He is going to go straight into a Satanic rather than finishing a Manta, so rather than worrying about damage, he's just going to worry about survivability. And I think that makes sense in some way, because with the Satanic, he can take a bit of tower damage as well as rocket flare damage. His Universe is going to grab Cinnamon, but here comes the counter by Crit. Again, man, Crit has just been playing out of his mind. But it is, I guess, Rubik is a more dynamic support than somebody like a Shadow Demon. As pause is the call by Jo. But yeah, back to the Satanic. I was going to say it makes sense somewhat, because EG is very annoying to push in the end. They have assets right, they have or they have the rockets, so they will slowly but surely wear away at Team Life. But now it's Satanic. Link can actually go in for a couple hits and not worry about too much, because he still has the Aegis and you won't die as easily with the Satanic finish rather than just a Manta. So it looks like Team Life are grouping up to push the base. Cinder has not made any item progression. If I were Team Life, I'd let him get one creep so he can finish the dagger. Meanwhile, Ace has a BKB finish, so that means he won't be interrupted by anything short of, well, hook shot as well as lasso, since of course hook does go through BKB as does lasso, but he won't be affected by the Firefly residual damage, Blade Fury, and the Alchemist stun, which I think has been the main problem for the other Titan in this game. And I guess this is sort of the problem with the farming Juggernaut. Yeah, support Juggernaut. Yeah, he pushes better than a lot of supports, but he doesn't really do anything outside of his two abilities in actual fights. And I guess that's better than most supports, so maybe support Juggernaut has its merits. The rocket's starting to go work. Acid Spray is going to work as well. And this is just going to be very, very annoying for Team Life to actually break, as not only are their orbs, as MSS is going to find himself stomped. They're going to use that to get the initiation off onto MSS. They will kill him, as Ace is going to pop the BKB. I don't think the Earths will actually hit anything, but Link managed to get off a reasonably Requiem Souls, as Ace still with that 10-second BKB running around magically. I mean, they're going to catch out Jo. Will they be able to get the chain stuns necessary to bring him down? They will not. But now they're going to go to work on the tower and Clockwork. I don't know if he has buyback. He does have buyback. I don't know why he's not buying back just yet. He will buy back right now. Disruption going to preserve the life of Ace for the moment. And Link still has his Aegis, as Echo Stomp will be used once again, trying to delay whatever push, but they're going to lose Ace in the process. And now Link trying to do whatever he can, doing a lot of right-click damage, but it's just not enough Satanic. Not the best damage done, but they will be able to kill off Fear regardless. So Wisp is going to respawn, and I think this might be the time for Team Life to back off. They don't have the ET for 40 seconds, and, well, I guess they really want to make the most of this Aegis. They don't want to give EG any moment on the map to get any more towers or any more momentum, as Crit is going to blink in. Just barely going to miss Fogged, as, well, Fogged going to get stunned by the Spike Carapace, and that is going to cost Crit his life. Nice move by Cinnamon, waiting for the orbs to proc on his Spike Carapace, stunning him, and then just getting the residual follow-up damage. Link just going in, going to pop Satanic, recognizing the glyph has been activated. He knows he has Aegis to fall back upon. He will pick up, no, nice deny by Jo. All the while though, now the racks are exposed, and that means Team Life can actually get onto the high ground, which is something they're desperately lacking. Meanwhile, Ace has finally respawned. Now the question is for Team Life, how long is Roshan left? And I'm a bit scared to check, because I feel like there might be a fight relatively soon. Jo gonna pop the Unstable Concoction, and meanwhile Barrett does have the Flame Lasso online, but I don't know if he has enough mana to use all of his abilities. He has Lasso, he just barely will have enough mana, as Jo gonna find himself stunned up. Jo gonna get right click down. Jo gonna be in a lot of trouble, will be able to escape just barely, but MSS gonna get a nice two-man hook shot as well as Cogs. Link gonna pop the BKB, gonna avoid the blade mail damage. Cinnamon found himself defensively disrupt. Earthsware gonna catch off Jo, as well. Life's team fight is just kicking into high gear. First Earthsware of the game that managed to connect, and it was a beautiful one. And Team Life just gonna completely break EG's back with this never-ending siege. Really nice endurance and nice communication, as Jo, he's gonna die once again. He just bought back, And I think this might be GG. Fear gonna drop one more Omni Slash, but Life just gonna group up. They're gonna right-click Fear. Almost a full team. GG is the call.
Dire's bottom barracks
And man, that was a
is
base siege and a half, if I have to say.
Dire's middle
How much time
tower
was left
is
on
under
Rosh?
Radiant victory.
Over a minute when I last checked. So really, really good prioritization by Team Life. In the end, EG just didn't win lanes. And when you have Wisp, it's just very hard. Well, I mean, you don't need to win lanes with Wisp, but you need to do stuff with your ultimate, which Wisp never had an opportunity to do. He was just... Radiant just grouped up as 5, pushed in, and I think the Shadow Fiend was really the brilliant pick, because it just did so much extra damage that I don't think EG were necessarily prepared for at this very early stage of the game. So in the end, really nicely done by Team Life. So we're going to go to a Game 3 as Team Life definitely showing that they are a very capable team, at least in this series thus far, as they put up some solid fights in both games. And we're going to have to see who takes this best of 3 series between EG and Team Life. So thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.